My name is Sue Halston. I'm 43 years old, and I've worn combat boots longer than I've worn heels. Daughter of a Virginia banking dynasty. Youngest of three. Disappointment by default. You don't need to ask if I was the black sheep. I branded myself to survive. The medals on my uniform didn't matter much in my family. Not when I didn't marry the right man, didn't keep my weight in check, didn't kiss the damn ring. And tonight, at my son's wedding, my father reminded everyone exactly who I was. Here she is, he announced with that politician's grin, the one that hides knives. My fat, lazy daughter. Behold the family disappointment. Polite laughter. The kind that hides behind champagne flutes and false teeth. Someone gasped. Someone chuckled louder. I stood there in a navy sheath dress, hands clenched, throat dry. I felt the heat crawl up my neck, like a fuse lit from within. People always say time slows down when you're humiliated. That's not true. It doesn't slow, it sharpens. Faces blur into threats. Every whisper sounds like your name. Every eye is a scalpel. Smile for the photographer's sweetheart, my father hissed as he brushed past me. Then it happened. A waiter. Shaky hands. Pale as the linens. Ma'am, someone told me to give you this. A phone. Unlocked. Video queued. I press play. My voice. My face. A secure ops room. A debriefing from 8 months ago. Classified. Sealed. Scrubbed. Or it was supposed to be. Now it was trimmed. Twisted. Overlaid with subtitles like unstable command decisions. Compromised data. Whistleblower under review. My blood ran cold. The video file was marked private, but the metadata had been changed. Distributed to 6 media outlets. A press leak timer, 17 minutes. I scrolled. My login ID had been forged. The origin IP was routed through an old Fort Bragg network, one I hadn't accessed in years. My pulse quickened. Danger always announces itself. I once told a cadet, "You're either too arrogant to hear it or too late to stop it." My father kept talking, now to the Hastings family, the bride's side. Hand gestures wide, all smoke and ego. They nodded, smiling politely. They didn't know yet, but they would. And then he walked in. Mr. Lawrence Pierce, CEO of Blackthorne and Pierce. My father's boss. Taller than I remembered. Pinstripe suit. Steady eyes. His entrance didn't just pause the music. It rewound the room's breath. He scanned the ballroom like a sniper looking for movement. He wasn't here to dance. Or toast. Or smile. He was here for someone. The phone vibrated again. New message. No sender. If he opens his mouth, I'm finished. The phone stayed in my hand like a live grenade. If he opens his mouth, I'm finished. I moved. Fast. Out the side of the ballroom, through a narrow hallway lined with floral arrangements and coat racks. My heels echoed off marble tile like gunshots. My breath was too loud. Behind me, the laughter returned, forced thin. The orchestra resumed with something soft and classical, but it didn't cover the storm building inside me. The door to the catering corridor swung shut behind me. Darkness. Then a flickering bulb. The kitchen was ahead, silent, stainless. Smelled like citrus cleaner and burnt bread. I pulled out my own phone. VPN on. I accessed a secure contact line, one I hadn't used since Kabul. Only 3 names ever touched it. First ring. Second. He answered. Colonel. It's Halston. Richmond. I need a check on a metadata trace. Encrypted stream. Video ID 7935 Delta. There was a pause. You still have access? Under review. I'm asking unofficially. Now. Click. No would. That meant yes. Behind me, something moved. I turned. Nothing. Just the echo of my own adrenaline. You can't trust quiet rooms, someone once told me. They never stay that way. I slid the catering door open. Empty trays. A single glass of champagne, half full, still cold. Someone had just been here. Then I saw it. An event badge. On the floor, under a tray rack. E. Nolan, technical staff. Except I'd just seen Nolan on stage, running sound.
Smiling. Too calm.
I grabbed the badge and slipped it into my clutch. Another buzz. Text from the secure contact. Video pulled from Fort Meade backup, source internal. 6 users. You're one. So is your ex-husband. 2 days ago, someone logged in under your father's name. I stopped breathing for 2 seconds. Then I heard a voice. I saw you slip away. Naomi Dexter, the officiant, my son's wedding priest, clutching her robes like armor, eyes too alert for someone who just blessed a marriage. I followed you, she whispered. Not to scare you. What do you want? I want to show you something. She handed me her phone. A photo. Grainy. Taken from upstairs in the bridal suite. Thatcher Halston, my father. Shaking hands with the lead event planner. Both men too close. The planner held a USB drive between his fingers. I stared. When was this? Last night. After the rehearsal dinner. Why didn't you say anything? Naomi hesitated. Because if I'm right, you weren't the only target. Another noise. Behind the supply door. A metallic rattle. I stepped forward, hand to clutch. Inside, a steel case knife. Legal. Registered. Still sharp.
Quick breath.
One motion. I kicked the door open. No one. Just a chair. Recently moved. Fresh scrape on the tile. And a hotel phone. Off the hook, line blinking. I stepped in. Picked it up.
No di alto.
Then faint static. And a voice. Robotic, modulated. He's not the one they want. Look to the stage.
Now.
The ballroom lights dimmed. Not a fade, an intentional kill. My heels hit carpet as I stepped back through the side corridor. The music had stopped mid-note.
No announcement.
No warning. Just dark velvet tension settling over the room like smoke. Chandeliers flickered once. Then the emergency sconces kicked in. Soft amber. Just enough to see the outlines of faces turning toward the stage. Thatcher Halston was already there. Of course he was. Standing under the center spotlight, drink in hand, smug as ever. His suit gleamed navy black, tie gold. He didn't wait for permission to speak. To family, he said, lifting his glass. To the ones who rise and the ones who remind us how far we've come. No one laughed. Not this time. He leaned in closer to the mic. And to my daughter, he added, eyes sweeping toward me. The quiet one. The invisible one. May she always stay hidden. Every inch of my skin burned. I didn't blink. Didn't flinch. Not this time. But I heard the voice again. He's not the one they want. Look to the stage.
Now.
I did. That's when Lawrence Pierce stood.
No que.
No music.
No introduction.
He moved like someone who'd stopped asking for permission years ago. Took the mic from my father without a word. The gesture alone sliced through the oxygen in the room. My father tried to laugh it off. Well, looks like. Sit down, Thatcher. For words. No volume. But they carried weight. The kind that cracked bones. Pierce faced the crowd. His voice cut like wire. You've all heard stories. Headlines. Speculation. Tonight, let's clarify something. His hand lifted. A second mic fed through the system. And the screen behind the stage came alive.
Agréni surveillance vidéo.
Time-stamped. Color-corrected. Overlay text read. Blackthorne and Pierce, Internal Audit Division. The footage, my father. Last week. Meeting a man in a cafe outside Washington. A known foreign broker flagged in 4 financial leaks. The handshake was clear. The envelope exchange clearer. Then the close-up. USB drive. Blue casing. Custom logo. Same drive I saw in Naomi's photo. Someone gasped. A chair scraped back. Pierce didn't flinch. There are lines, he said, that can't be crossed without consequences. He turned toward the audience. You know me. You know our firm. But what you may not know is that we've been tracking a breach for 18 months. A concerted effort to destabilize high-net institutions across 3 states. This breach included synthetic scandals, video manipulations, and forged metadata, and this wedding was the drop site. He paused. Someone in this room helped fund that operation. The oxygen left the building. You could hear ice shifting in untouched glasses. My phone buzzed. Another message. Unlisted number. If Pierce speaks another word, people will die. I looked up. Security was already moving.
Quiet.
Precise. Black suits at every door. Naomi slid up beside me. You need to see this. She held her phone out again. A new message. Same sender as mine. Target 2 confirmed. L. Pierce. I whispered. He's the one they want. Naomi nodded once. And now they know you're watching. Then came the sharp pop. Not a gunshot, glass. The champagne tower had collapsed. Dozens of flutes hit tile like crystal rain. Screams. A surge of bodies. Security intercepting. But I didn't run. I ran forward. Toward the stage. Toward Pierce. Because this wasn't about humiliation anymore. It was war. And someone had just declared it. This wasn't sabotage. It was treason. The room fractured. Not chaos yet.
Controlled panic.
The kind that spreads when powerful people realize the rules have changed. Security sealed the doors. Quiet clicks. Magnetic locks engaging. Phones lifted, then lowered as service dropped to 0 bars. Someone tried to laugh. It died halfway out of their mouth. Pierce stepped back from the mic, face unreadable. My father stood frozen beside him, wineglass trembling in his hand. For the first time in my life, Thatcher Halston looked small. I moved again. Instinct over emotion. Training over fear. Naomi caught my arm.
So?
Stay with the guests, I said. If anything happens, you get people low and still. She nodded once. No questions. Backstage smelled like dust and hot wiring. LED panels hummed. A row of monitors glowed, camera feeds from every corridor, every entrance. One screen flickered. Service hallway. Camera 3. A man in black moved fast, head down, earpiece visible. He wasn't staff. Too purposeful. Too clean. I zoomed in. He had Nolan's badge. My phone vibrated. A number I didn't recognize. Text only. Say another word, and your son doesn't leave this building. My chest tightened. Not panic. Focus. They always threaten what you love. Because fear is leverage, and leverage is currency. I typed back with one hand. Proof. 3 dots appeared. Then a photo. Daniel.
My son.
Outside. Near the valet drive. Someone's hand on his shoulder. Not violent.
Yet.
A voice cut through the hall behind me. Susan.
Pierce.
He'd followed me. Your security is compromised, I said. They're using event credentials. Nolan's badge is cloned. He nodded. I know. Then you know this isn't just exposure. No, he said quietly. It's extraction. He stepped closer to the monitors. They don't want the crowd. They want me. I met his eyes. And they'll burn anyone to get you. He didn't argue. Someone once told me power doesn't fear noise. It fears precision. This felt precise. Another vibration. 10 minutes. I scanned the feeds. Camera 7. Ballroom exit. Empty. Camera 9. Loading dock. Movement.
A van backed in. No Platz. Door cracked open.
I grabbed a headset from the sound console and clipped it on. Security, this is Halston. Lock down the loading dock. Non-lethal engagement only. Law enforcement has been notified. Pierce glanced at me. You're assuming we have time. I'm assuming they want leverage before blood. A crash echoed from the hallway. Then footsteps.
Fast.
Too close. I turned. The man lunged from behind a curtain. I dropped low. His strike missed my head by inches. I drove my elbow into his ribs, felt cartilage give. He grunted but didn't go down. Professional. He swung again. I caught his wrist, twisted, used his momentum. We hit the floor hard. His breath stank of mint, and adrenaline. Wrong woman, I said, and slammed his head into the concrete. He went still. I rolled him over, checked his pulse.
Alive.
Barely. Pierce crouched beside me. That was efficient. Efficiency keeps you alive. I searched the man. Burner phone. Wired earpiece. A folded list in his jacket. Names. Seat numbers.
Mine cirkled.
Pierce's circled twice. Another buzz. Final warning. I looked at Pierce. They're escalating. He nodded. So are we. He lifted his phone and spoke into it. This is Pierce. Activate internal response. Mandatory reporting.
Now.
Somewhere, systems woke up. Somewhere else, people started running toward this place, not away from it. I typed one last message. If he dies, everything goes public. No reply. The monitors flickered again. Camera 9. The van door slid open wider. 2 men stepped out. And a third, holding Daniel. My vision tunneled. Pierce's voice cut through it.
Suet.
I swallowed. They're not bluffing. He followed my gaze.
His jaw set.
I straightened. This isn't about me, I said. They're here for Pierce. The ballroom was no longer a ballroom. It was a pressure cooker. Outside, rain smacked against the tall glass like warning drums. Inside, the temperature dropped, but the tension cracked through the air like static. Somewhere, a child whimpered. The string quartet had long gone silent. I moved through the crowd like a wire drawn tight. Never waste a threat. Use it, bend it, or snap it back. Someone whispered that to me once. I forgot who. I never forgot the lesson. Pierce walked beside me, quiet, eyes scanning. His phone lit up again. Internal command confirms. Asset read. We're in contingency. Contingency meant lockdown. It meant layered encryption. It meant someone somewhere just filed a mandatory report to the Bureau.
He looked at me.
You know what happens now. Yeah, I said. Now they get desperate. Backstage, we reached a secure terminal. Naomi met us there, holding her tablet like a shield. Her fingers trembled. I got into the planner's local cache, she said. He logged calls. Scheduled movements.
And
this. She turned the screen toward me. It was a split view. 2 cam feeds. One, outside the venue. The van.
Still idling.
The other, downstairs in the service corridor near the wine cellar. My son, Daniel, blindfolded, zip-tied to a chair. A man stood in the shadows behind him. I felt my stomach drop out. Naomi whispered. The planner logged that room as transfer ready. Pierce's voice went steel. We cut the power to that wing. Now. Naomi hesitated. There's something else. She tapped a file. Showed me a document buried in the planner's files. Not just seating charts. A payment list. 10 names. 10 transfers. All routed through crypto wallets registered offshore. All tied to accounts flagged in a joint federal task force last year, one I had briefed. And one name on that list hit like a bullet to the ribs. Lydia. My sister. $275,000. Cleared 2 days ago. Pierce's voice was barely audible. She sold access. Naomi looked at me. She sold you. No, I said. My throat locked. She sold my son. The lights flickered again, then steadied. Cameras refreshed. Daniel was still tied up, but now another figure entered frame. Lydia. Dressed in her velvet gown. Hair perfect. Face unreadable. She crouched beside Daniel. Whispered something we couldn't hear. Then stood, walked to the door, and locked it behind her.
Cutscene.
I pushed away from the console. Where's the stair access? I snapped. Pierce blocked me. If you go in alone, they'll kill you both. If I wait, they'll do worse.
He stared at me.
Then nodded. Take this. He handed me a keycard. It unlocks the freight door behind the wine cellar. I was already moving. Naomi followed. I'm coming with you.
No.
You stay here. Watch the feeds. If anything changes, you call the emergency trigger. She nodded. Down the service stairs, my breath echoed like a countdown. At the basement door, I paused. Listened. Muffled voices. A man. And Lydia. I slid the card. The door clicked. My Glock was in hand before I stepped inside. Wine barrels lined the walls. Dim light. Dust in the air. Everything smelled old. Oak. Humidity. Betrayal. Daniel was tied to a support column, head tilted. Lydia stood 5 feet away, phone in hand. She didn't flinch when she saw me. You shouldn't be here, Sue. Neither should you. She raised both hands. I didn't know they'd take him. No, I said. You just gave them the keys. A shadow moved behind her. I fired. The bullet hit the ground in front of the man's feet. He froze, then backed away slowly. Lydia dropped the phone. I owed money, she said. They offered a way out. You gave up blood to buy silence. Her voice cracked. It wasn't supposed to go this far. It never is. I moved to Daniel. Cut the ties. He groaned, blinking hard. Mom, I've got you. The man behind Lydia moved again. But this time, gunfire exploded from the hallway. Security team. Pierce's men. Chaos ignited. The man lunged. I tackled Daniel to the ground. Shots rang out. 2 men fell. Lydia screamed. Then silence. I looked up. Daniel was breathing. So was I. Barely. She sold him. My own sister sold my son. Blue lights painted the cellar walls like war paint. 2 men dead. 1 wounded. Blood pooling beneath vintage oak barrels that would never age another bottle. Lydia sat on the floor, back to the column, hands cuffed behind her. Eyes empty. Red streaked down her cheek, not blood, mascara. I didn't speak to her. Not yet. Daniel sat beside me, breathing shallow. His pulse had steadied. His eyes stayed on me like they were anchoring to something real. You good? I asked. He nodded. Yeah. Pierce entered behind 2 of his men. His suit jacket was torn. Hair damp with sweat or rain. Maybe both. He looked around. Anyone else? 1 ran, I said. He won't get far. He looked at Lydia. She set it in motion? She opened the first door, I said. Others ran through. People don't break, he said. They soften over time. Then rot. I stood up. We're done here. No, he said. We're not. He handed me a tablet.
En screen, surveillance footage.
The van. The planner. The exchanges. Every file. And 1 more video I hadn't seen. A conversation. Audio only. From my father's office. Thatcher's voice. I didn't want it to go this far. Just scare her. Keep her quiet. Other voice. The planner. You leaked the file. You tied it to the wedding. You made her a target. I didn't think they'd bring guns.
Pierce looked at me.
He lied to us both. I stared at the screen. My father. The man who toasted my shame. The man who tried to bury me. And then blamed me when the dirt shifted back. You think silence protects you, I said aloud, but it just lets the wrong people speak louder. We moved upstairs. The ballroom was chaos in slow motion. Guests still huddled. Some crying. Some furious. All shaken. I stepped into the spotlight again. This time, not in a dress. Uniform on. Badges gleaming. Silver eagle on my collar sharp as a blade. People turned. Whispers.
Gasps.
Pierce followed, but stopped short of the mic.
He didn't need to speak.
This was my moment. I walked to center stage. Raised my chin. My name is Colonel Susan Halston, I said. I was told to stay quiet. I was taught that blending in is safer than standing tall. But tonight proved the opposite. No one interrupted. I scanned the crowd. Everything that happened here was allowed to happen because too many people believed secrets kept us safe. I looked to where my father had once stood.
Gone.
I continued. Silence isn't safety. It's surrender. A woman in the back started clapping. Then another. It spread like fire. Not loud, but enough. I stepped down. Daniel met me halfway, arms around my shoulders.
He didn't speak.
He didn't have to. Naomi appeared with a blanket, wrapped it around him. She looked at me like someone who finally saw clearly. Pierce handed me a flash drive. All yours. What's on it? Names, he said.
Accounts.
Affiliations. Real ones. Proof. Justice. I nodded, slipped it into my coat pocket. The storm outside had passed. The glass walls now dripped quiet streaks of rain. I turned to Lydia one last time as they let her out in cuffs.
She didn't cry.
Didn't ask for forgiveness. And I didn't offer it. Some debts can't be paid in apology. Some betrayals don't come with explanations. Just echoes. We walked out into the morning. Sirens fading. Light returning. I didn't look back. You called me invisible. And yet, I'm the last one standing.